Things were simpler then.
Hey guys, welcome to Peter Parker Movie Reviews, and today we're about to talk about the new Blade Runner movie. So this is not a remake, this is just a sequel or a part 2. 30 years after the events of the first film, a new Blade Runner, LAPD Officer K. So now we know, just by the synopsis, that it's all happening in LA, which means that everything we see in the movie is in 2049 or 30 years after LA. So by the synopsis, we know that after Harrison Ford, or Deckard, finished his mission as a Blade Runner, he disappeared for 30 years. Now this is interesting because in the first movie, they drop a big hint that Deckard might be a replicant himself. I read the book, and in the book it's very clear that Deckard is a replicant. It's funny because it happens in a future where all the animals are basically androids. I wouldn't find it surprising if Harrison Ford saw a bunch of unicorns running around, because it's in a time where everything is an android and everything is robotics. But for some reason, it feels like the past was real. Every time you see a photograph, it looks like this world, like a realistic world where shit hasn't hit the fan yet. Just by seeing that Deckard had memories of unicorns already reveals that he is an android himself with fake memories. And the other detective that helps Harrison Ford drops a little bomb on him with a unicorn origami. How would this stranger detective know about Harrison Ford's dreams or memories when he's almost never talked to this guy? So right there it reveals that Harrison Ford might be a replicant. So let's analyze the trailer. In the beginning, it starts just like the movie, the original movie, where it's very dark, it's very gloomy, and it's always nighttime. So in the beginning, we hear the original voice of Harrison Ford talking about how he just does his Blade Runner job when they need him to. He's always very cold towards his job. You kind of understand that Deckard is basically someone who, he doesn't want to get involved in this job, but he kind of has to. Then after the credits, we get to see the landscape of Mars, where it seems very orange. It doesn't seem like this is in Mars. I have a feeling this is LA, and it might be a post-apocalyptic time where things got worse after the Blade Runner retired. But for some reason, I feel like this is still LA, because when Ryan Gosling goes and finds this place, this building, you can see Korean on the top of the windows. And I recognize those symbols as Korean writing because I studied Korean in the past. I recognize it right away because I live in Koreatown in LA. One thing about Koreatown is that there is a lot of Korean writing everywhere around this part. So when you see the building and you see the Korean writing, you know right away that he's in Koreatown. So we see Ryan Gosling going around this building, playing around with a piano, and then suddenly a 50 to 60-year-old Harrison Ford or Deckard comes out of the shadows with a gun. And this is really shocking because this is the first time we see Deckard after 30 years. And that's where the theories go a little out of hand, because we're not sure what is the lifespan of replicants. And if we remember in the first movie, replicants only live for 4 years. And once they become closer to human, they basically only have a 4-year lifespan. So not only is it shocking to see Harrison Ford alive, but it's also shocking to see him old and to see him aged, because this is a whole new thing that we did not know about the first Blade Runner, is that replicants can age and can become old. But this is also another theory that maybe he is not a replicant and maybe he is human after all. But I'd rather not believe that, because the first movie was so clear. It seems very clumsy that they would just completely forget about that ending and not acknowledge what really Deckard is. Is he a replicant or is he human? Like, I'm pretty sure he was a replicant. So maybe the reason why they dropped that bomb in the trailer is to kind of explore more into that area, into that story. Because maybe Harrison Ford is a special case. Since he is a Blade Runner and he's supposed to chase after replicants, maybe they made him last until all replicants were done, until all replicants were basically out of existence. And that's when they would retire Harrison Ford. And the trailer ends with basically Ryan Gosling walking through the streets of LA, and everything seems to be exactly like it was in the first movie. Kind of the same Chinatown looking, neons everywhere, Chinese write-ins all over the place, and neons all over the place, and umbrellas and raining, and basically it seems just like the first movie. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope you like this video, and if you do, just leave a like, and I'll see you on the next one.